So let's go ahead and kick things off. So thanks for coming to our webinar. We're going to be chatting about 5 little known concierge use cases. So you can click. Okay, so just introduce ourselves really quick. Eugenia is our product manager for Concierge Handoff and Chili Call. She does a lot. She's also an amateur pilot, which is very cool. She is learning she's getting her pilot's license, which is awesome. So she just flies little planes on her time off. And I am the senior product marketing manager at Chili Piper. And I, unfortunately, am not an amateur pilot, but maybe I'll get to Eugenia's level one day. So today we're just going to do a quick overview of our full platform and then talk about the 5 spicy use cases. There's 5 spicy concierge use cases that you can start implementing today, pretty much. So just a quick overview of our platform. Click the slide. Like the build up, the suspense.
Suspense, exactly.
We built a new platform because we saw that people were doing the same thing in multiple different tools. So building out routing rules, managing lead distribution between your reps, scheduling, like creating reminder emails and meeting types in multiple different tools. So you might have one for a chat, you might have like lead routing, you might have a Calendly, those kinds of things. So we decided to consolidate all of those into one platform with reusable rules and meeting types across them all. Click so we've consolidated concierge, form routing, team scheduling, lead distribution, and chat all into one platform. And so you can reuse the rules and the teams and the meeting types and everything across your routers, across different entry points. But we're not going to be talking about any of those today. We're going to be talking about our flagstone product, Concierge, and little known ways that you could be using Concierge that you might not be. And most of them are included with your existing subscription. So we know that Concierge, you probably know the Concierge helps you qualify, route, and schedule meetings from your web form. So that get a demo form, you click on it, you fill out a form, schedule a meeting with your prospects. But there's a lot of other Concierge use cases that you might not know about. So I'm going to hand it over to Eugenia, who's going to show it to us.
Thank you, Madeline. Hi, everybody, again. Yep, as Madeline said, the standard use case for Concierge would be to add it to your request a demo page or contact us form. And once the prospect submits the form, fills out the form fields, you qualify them. And based on the form fields or maybe this information that you have in your CRM, you present them with a calendar of the correct rep and allow them to pick a time slot and schedule a meeting. This is the standard. This is how the majority of our customers use Concierge, but it's certainly not all that Concierge can do. And the first use case that we want to cover today is live calling. So qualifying the prospects on the fly and connecting them with an AE or like a sales rep right away on a live call right there and right now. You can do the same qualification with Concierge Live as with the standard Concierge routing rules. So qualify prospects based on the form or CRM data, build routing rules that will just connect the prospect to the rep instantly, and start the live phone call immediately after the prospect submits the form so that when they are most interested in your product. So now let's take a look how to set it up in Concierge. Let's say you have this is going to be your standard Concierge router in the flow builder, some routing rules. In my case, it's company size, but in your case, let's just take a look at this one. I'm routing based on the form data and based on the CRM data. So you can route on both or just one. You can route on contacts, on leads, on accounts. And you can actually match net new prospects who don't exist in your CRM to an existing account that you have in your CRM. So that is also possible. So say you have your standard routing rules and you are showing maybe round robining among your sales reps or routing straight to the owner. That's also possible. But what if you want to route, say, large prospects with a large company size? You want to show them the option to request a live call right now. So what you're going to do is just add a routing rule. And in my case, it's going to be a larger company size, 251 to 1500. And after that routing rule, once the prospect matches it, we will show them contact options request a call or schedule a meeting. So this node essentially represents what your prospects will see. And after that, we ask you to set up what happens once prospect either requests a live call or they want to just schedule a meeting. So if they request a live call, what you want to do is route them to either the owner. If it's an ownership rule, you can also round robin among your sales reps, or you can just route to one person, maybe who's going to field all of your calls. Then we recommend adding a separate meeting type here. First of all, because probably your live calls are going to be a bit shorter than your demos. So in our case, it's 15 minutes versus a 30-minute demo. So that's why you have a separate meeting type. Also, with a separate meeting type, which we will populate in your Salesforce on the event and on the lead and contact record, you are able to track this way, oh, this was a live call instead of just a standard inbound demo. And there might be some other settings that you want to set up on the meeting type, but specifically the duration and the fact that you can track it separately in Salesforce is the main reason for using a different meeting type here. Then these two interesting settings are specific to Concierge Live. This first one is going to predetermine for how long you're calling your sales reps. So say I have 5 reps in my round robin group, and I will call each of them for 20 seconds. If they don't pick up after 20 seconds, I will start calling the next one. This is how Concierge Live works at the moment. We start calling the first person in distribution with who's supposed to get the next meeting. We will start calling them. If they don't pick up, we will call the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So the 20 seconds predetermines how long you're calling each rep individually. And we do recommend to set it no less than 20 seconds, because people could be finishing an email, didn't see the phone call, couldn't pick up just because they just missed it right away. So 20 seconds is probably like the least I would set on this for Concierge Live. And this setting, call attempt limit, is going to predetermine how many reps you're going to call. So for example, if you have 10 reps in your distribution and you call each of them for 20 seconds, that is a long time to wait potentially a long time to wait if nobody picks up for the prospect. So you can predetermine just maybe call just 3 reps instead of all of them. And if 3 reps in a row don't pick up, just mark this routing as rep didn't pick up the meeting, and maybe offer the prospect to schedule a meeting for later. So now this brings us to our next step, what to do after the rep picks up the phone. So after the rep picks up the phone, the standard, what you have on your all other regular routing paths in Concierge, you just update your CRM. Obviously, you probably want to create an event in Salesforce or in HubSpot, an engagement in HubSpot. Maybe you want to also update the ownership, updates a special field on the record. That's all available. You also can redirect the prospect. And here for Concierge Live, we have a special setting when to redirect the prospect. Some customers want to redirect the prospect to a thank you page after the call ends and just say thank you. Or maybe there is a use case for you that you want to redirect the prospect after the rep picks up the phone that says, hey, your call is now in progress, just for visibility and explicitness. So you can do that too. And if important routing to take care of is what to do when the rep doesn't pick up, nobody picks up the phone. You don't want to lose such prospects, right? So we recommend adding a display calendar node and routing either to the same reps or maybe SDRs to follow up to you. And just offer this guest to schedule a meeting for later. Sorry, nobody's available right now, but you can schedule a meeting for later, just to make sure that you don't lose that lead. And then you also set up your post scheduled, not scheduled CRM actions as per usual. And the last but not least is, so you're displaying two options to the prospect: either request a live call or schedule a meeting for later. And then just, this is the same display calendar, who you route to, and your post-scheduled actions. You can customize this whole routing as much as you want. For example, the reps that are fielding the calls is maybe two, maybe it's just Eugenia and Madeline, but when you want to route for a later meeting, maybe it's your whole AE team. So you have all the flexibility here, with the CRM actions and the meeting types as well. So this is how it looks like from the inside, how you set it up. What it looks like on your form is, so I have a prospect with the larger company size, and I'm going to submit the form. So the prospect, you can also customize all of these colors and customize the pop-up as well with the CSS. But this is what they will see. Hey, you can call me now, or I want to schedule a meeting for later. And if they click call me now, it's going to say we're connecting you with someone, and it's going to call the rep. So in my case, it's me, so it's calling me. And if I pick up, it's going to say, hey, this is Concierge calling with this prospect name. Would you like to connect? And once they say connect, it's going to call back this prospect. So once the rep picks up, then we call back the prospect. But if nobody picks up, this is what they will see. So sorry, nobody's available. Schedule a meeting for later. And the prospect is not lost, and they can schedule a meeting, a demo. So that's how you set up your Concierge Live. And any questions? Is the call hosted by Chili Piper, or do we have the option to forward the call to our existing phone provider? So the way, it's a good point to go over. Let's go back to the setup. Okay, first of all, how do the reps set up their phone numbers? They would need to go in my app and go into personal details. And if they have a Concierge Live add-on enabled, they will see I have this verified already, but they will see a phone number field. They can enter their phone number, and it's going to show the button to verify the phone number. So once they have the phone number verified, they can start receiving calls. The way it works on Chili Piper's end is that we call when the prospect requests a live call, we are going to call Twilio, and Twilio is going to call the rep, the AE, your Chili Piper user. If the Chili Piper user picks up the phone and press like 1, yes, accept the call, connect me with the prospect, Twilio is going to call the prospect from using the rep's phone number. So we do not integrate with other phone systems. We field it through Twilio. However, you can still enter your phone line number and in the personal settings for the rep. But it's important to know that each rep sets up their phone number individually. It's not like a phone line that is going to distribute to a round robin. Everybody sets up their number individually. So that is something to keep in mind. Let's see. After scheduling a meeting, can we assign the prospect to an outreach sequence so they can start receiving added information until the meeting time? You don't have the ability to add a prospect to an outreach in Concierge at the moment, but you can do that with Distro, with our other product. And you can connect your Concierge router to a Distro router. Basically, once, let's say, in your Salesforce, you will have a meeting type field, and you can trigger a Distro router based on that meeting type field being empty or not. And if it's not empty, if it says your inbound meeting type, then you can trigger the Distro router and add them to outreach sequence. However, we're going to add Sales Loft to Concierge, ability to add prospects to a Sales Loft cadence Q2, so by the end of June. So this is something that we have on the roadmap. And I see, Madeline, you've responded to the other question. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to, no, just signed me out. Look at that.
Just for the added suspense.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can
I
type
don't
your
remember my
password.
password.
Oh, it's the pressure.
It's the pressure for sure.
Okay.
Well, yes.
Whew.
Um,
Good timing, Google.
I know. All right. So our next use case is going to be adding concierge in app. When do you want to do that? Well, probably when you have an app where you want to implement some kind of ability to schedule a demo or maybe schedule a support call. We see customers use that when they want to route high intent, like trialing customers to book a call with a sales rep. They add like a book a demo button inside the application. Then also you might want to give your enterprise level customers and access to one-on-one support calls. So that is also another why you would use that. And with this functionality, you can also route based on CRM data or data captured in the user session, in the login session. So you are free to choose here as well. And now let's go to our actual demo. Let's see what I have here. Okay, I would personally recommend having a separate in-app router if you have, especially if you have like individual routing rules for high intent trialing customers. So you're checking if it's a trialing customer, then show them the book a demo button or allow them to schedule a meeting. And also for tracking purposes, because the router name, the meeting types are going to be sent to Salesforce, and this is another like opportunity for you to differentiate and see how many calls were scheduled in app. So that's why I would recommend a separate in-app router. But easy to just copy an existing router and modify some routing rules, no big deal. The setup is going to be, your flow builder setup is going to be the same. Maybe you have, as I said, like slightly different routing rules that you can quickly update here, but then you probably want the same to happen. Create events in Salesforce, update records in Salesforce. Maybe you want to add them to a Salesforce campaign. That's also an option, or update a special field on the contact or lead. You can do that too. The difference is going to be in how you embed the concierge snippet. For the standard form use case, you would go to the embed tab and to this on the website dropdown. Then you would select your form. We would generate the snippet for you, and you can just copy and add it under the form. So that's for your landing page. For the in-app use case, you would need to go to this advanced dropdown, select GS snippet, and then I would recommend selecting the third-party form and just make sure that it's mapped. And just add this. Obviously, you can just copy it. Copy the snippet in your app. This line in the snippet, that means that once the user clicks the schedule a call or book a demo button on the submit action, we will run the Chili Piper, the concierge snippet, and we will evaluate this person and route them to the correct rep or CSM or whoever. And so that's important. And then in this lead object, you need to make sure that you pass all the fields that you need us to route on. Email is you must have the email, because without the email, we can't look this person up in CRM. We can't send them the invite. But there are other additional fields if you want to add them. For example, in my case, it's like company size, if I want to route based on that. And you can grab them from like the user like session endpoint or global window variable or something like that. Just pass them here, and they will be the prospect, the guest, the customer will be routed accordingly. So once you do that, once you embed that snippet in app, it's going to work like this. So once the person clicks on schedule the call, we will route them, show them the calendar, and they won't have to enter any additional data. They won't have to fill the form. They will immediately see the calendar with the slots and will be able to pick one, schedule it. And essentially it's just 2 clicks. So click on the schedule a call button and then click on the time slot, and that's it. So that's a pretty seamless user experience for your prospects. So that was our second, second use case. Now let's go to our third spicy concierge use case, is to improve conversions in your email campaigns. You can also embed Concierge in your email CTAs. And with Concierge, you will avoid multiple clicks and just immediately show the prospect available time slots, which less clicks for the prospect, better conversion rates for you. And it's also a very easy setup. You just grab the link and add it to your email CTA. And I'm going to demonstrate it right now. So I have my campaign. I'm going to sell AI dog collars because everybody has an AI product, so why wouldn't I? But I have a very simple router here, no routing rules, but you can add them. We will route based on your CRM data for this use case. You probably have all of those prospects in your CRM already if you're running a campaign on them, so that's pretty neat. And then just in the embed tab, go to emails, and then go to Smart Router Link, and then select a campaign tool that you're using, HubSpot or Marketo or something else. In my case, it's HubSpot. And then here you will find the smart booking link. And what is smart about it is that we are adding this email parameter to the end of the link so that we can grab the email and just immediately route this prospect without asking them for the email or other information. If you have it in CRM, why would you ask them anything else? So just copy the link and let's see, where's my email? And just add it to your email builder. In here, it's HubSpot. So I just add it to my CTA button and just send out your emails, save them. You're good to go. So once the prospect opens your email, and they're like, oh my God, wow, this is an amazing product. I can decode barks and emotions from my dog. I definitely want to book a demo. So they click book a demo and they will see the calendar right away. So again, it's just 2 clicks. They click book a demo and then they click on the time slot that works for them and boom, it's booked. Sometimes you actually do want additional information from your prospect. Maybe it's some like, which kind of demo are you interested in? Which kind of product are you interested in? In that case, you can absolutely do that. I would probably, and Madeline probably would agree with me, I would recommend adding then the landing page with that form. It's going to be styled and has all of the additional fields that you need to grab, but then also just add your concierge under that form and it's going to work the same way. Yeah, and this is how you run your email campaigns with Concierge to book more meetings. Let's see. Do we have any questions that I need to? No? Okay.
I don't see it.
Awesome. And then the last, but not the last, no, actually it's not the last use case. Next use case is going to be how to book meetings for events. Say you and your sales team are going to a sales conference in Los Angeles or something, and you want to book some demos for that in-person conference for those specific dates. You can do that easily with Concierge. So you will allow prospects and customers to self-serve book demos, probably from your landing page for the event landing page, or maybe you are sending out invitations through email. So that is available and you already know how to do that. If it's an email, you can just add the router link to your email CTA, or if it's a landing page, just add the concierge on your landing page under the form. So with concierge meeting type settings, you can restrict the demos to be only booked during the specific time frame and with specific reminders and other specific settings. So let's see how it works, how it would work in action. So I have something that I run, like I'm running a dog fair event and I have a separate router for it. Nothing special, just specific rules where I'm asking the prospect what product interest, like what product are you interested in? And based on that, I match them with a different rep. But that's pretty straightforward. What is different for running events and booking meetings for events is your meeting type. So this field, we recommend creating a separate meeting type for that. And let's see how to set it up. This is already set up, but I will create new from scratch with all of you. And just name it something special event. And then in the location, if it's in person, you add a custom location and you say the address maybe for the conference hall or something in LA. And then you say booth 23. That's how I would do it. But yeah, important thing is to add here the custom location with the directions for the user to go to, and it will be sent in the event invite. Then in the availability settings, what you need to do is under availability schedule, click override host's default schedule, because you're running an event, probably specific dates here. That's why you need to override all of your reps' schedule and select the dates for the event. So in my case, it would be 22nd to 24th of April. And then working hours, since all of my reps are going there, we're all going to be there. I can also set up working hours, the same working hours for all of us. It's going to be to 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I'm just going to copy to every day of the conference. And then in the time zone, in the case of in-person event, you would override the host default time zone and just, I don't know, what is LA? Yeah, Los Angeles should be here, and add the time zone of where the event is going to take place. And then probably display this time zone to the guests so that they are also aware. Next, what I want to do is, and we recommend adding special reminders. Probably when it's an in-person event, people are running around the booth, so it's exciting. You can easily forget that you have something scheduled. Maybe an email 1 hour before and then 3 minutes before to just remind the person like last minute that, hey, you have a demo, and they still have time to find your booth and show up for the demo too. And that's probably it. You can also, if you want to book multiple demos during a time slot, you can do that. Just mark the events, instead of marking events as busy, mark them as available. And in that case, prospects will be able to book a demo on a time slot that already has another demo, in case you have several sales reps running that. But that's pretty much it. And once you publish your meeting type, add it to your router. Where is it? Just make sure that you add it to your router here, and you're good to go. Let's see. Let's pretend it's my landing page for this quick test. And I'm going to select training. And yep, so it's going to show you it's going to show the prospect exactly the dates of your conference or of your event. They won't be able to book anything outside of it. And then it will show the time zone as well. Another thing I want to mention here for events, sometimes you want to book events, demos, not with a specific AE, but with a specific booth, maybe conference room. We have clients who do that, and it's pretty easy to set up. You do need to have a separate like Google account for your conference room or for your booth. But then once you have that, you add it to Chiller Paper as a user, and you just assign, instead of assigning an actual rep or an actual distribution here, you just assign this booth, this conference room user here in the display calendar node. And it's still going to be most probably cheaper than specialized tools or software that is targeted at booking events. So that's how you can do that easily here in display calendar node. And then all of your CRM actions will still be executed, despite the fact that maybe you don't want to add this booth as a user in Salesforce, because Salesforce licenses don't come cheap. But don't worry, we will still execute the actions. We will still create events. We will still update the records. The event will just be created under your integration user. But you can still track that because we send all the meeting types and all the form data as well. So that's how you can book for events with Concierge. And now our bonus use case or bonus workflow that we wanted to go over today is troubleshooting with Concierge Logs. With Concierge Logs on that page, you can understand the outcome of the routing. So if the person booked a meeting or did not book a meeting, see which rules they matched and why they matched those rules, see form responses they submitted, and see if the CRM updates were executed and executed successfully. And if not, if there are any automatic retries happening right now, or you can just trigger a manual retry yourself. This just gives you a peace of mind, and especially to the admins of Chili Piper, to just make sure that if something was by any chance routed incorrectly, you can see why, and that will help you modify the routing rules if need be, or explain why somebody was routed in a certain way. So let's take a look at a live example of Concierge Logs. So it's Concierge Logs are located under Concierge, and you will see your routers, and under each router, you will see each log. And once you open the log, what you will have two kind of sections. On the right, you will see when the router was triggered and when the meeting was actually scheduled over here. Sometimes it's important for troubleshooting to see when the person actually saw the calendar, and then when they actually scheduled the meeting, booked the slot. Then you will also see the form responses, what they've entered in the form, whether it's your own HubSpot form or whether it's our router link form, it's still going to be here. Then you will see the assignee, who it's assigned to, and then view the record in CRM. So it will be the record link to lead or contact, whatever we matched to and whatever we updated. Then in this main portion of the page, you will see the meeting outcome, the routing outcome, whether the meeting was scheduled or not. And then you can actually go and view the meeting in meeting activity. And from here, you can see, reminders were sent, which reminders were scheduled and sent, which reminders were skipped for any reason. You can also reassign from here and see the event history as well. But back to the logs. Under the meeting, the routing outcome, you will see the routing rules and which matched and which did not match. So if the routing rule matched, you will see like the green matched badge here, and here on to the right, this is the actual rule. That's what your actual rule says. Product interest is any of dog training. And under the data is what we have found either in the form, or if it was a CRM routing rule, then what we found in CRM. So that's how you can tell, okay, so they entered this data in the form, and that's what my rule says, so that's why I matched. And then if the rule did not match, you will see the same kind of data here as well. And then a little bit lower, under the actions, you can see if we offered the meeting, and if the meeting was actually scheduled by the prospect, who it was assigned to, and how it was assigned, whether through round robin or ownership or just individual user. And then last but not least, your CRM actions, where they executed and where they executed successfully or not, what we updated, and when we executed that update. Maybe let's take a look at another one. So this one, meeting was not scheduled by the prospects. And that means they just looked at the calendar, but did not pick any time slot, and it timed out. Pretty much the same information with a different outcome. And what happened? We did not create the event, of course, because a meeting was not scheduled. And you can see the same information basically here as well. So I think that's it on Spicy Concierge use cases today. Let's see if we have any questions.
Yeah, feel free to drop any questions in the chat or the Q&A. On the forum, we did have a question that was about using Chili Piper for SDRs and AEs. So you can just maybe quickly touch on handoff use case.
We do have another application that allows your SDRs to hand off meetings to AEs. Very common use case would be having an inbound concierge router on your form, on your website, that would book meetings with SDRs for them to qualify. Once the SDR qualifies, and while they are on this qualification call, they can hand off that prospect to AE for a proper demo. And this is where handoff comes in. The setup for handoff is very similar to Concierge. It's also a router. It's also has routing rules, and And you can, let's see, let's just add one more. Also has routing rules. You show the calendar, but in that case, it would be the SDR who's booking for AE. So you're showing the calendar to the SDR. Maybe you have special meeting type for that and a round robin distribution. Then you can set up all of the actions that should happen after the meeting is scheduled. So the setup is pretty much the same as for Concierge. And the rules, what is really nice about Chili Piper is that you can reuse your distribution. So you don't have to recreate distributions from scratch for Concierge versus for Handoff. You can just reuse all of them in all of these products. And same goes for routing rules. You can reuse the routing rules to make sure that all of your routing conventions are followed across all of your inbound and outbound motions. You can reuse the meeting types as well if you want to. Usually it's a different one for Handoff versus Concierge, but it's also reusable. And you have all kinds of settings here. If you want to invite the booker to the SDR to the meeting, you can. If you want to make the SDR the host, you can also do that, because sometimes SDR still needs to manage all of the email communication, all of the reminders that are going out to this prospect. So in that case, you would make the booker, the SDR, the host, and assignee is just invited. And let's see if I can actually, so this is what would be the SDR's flow. When they are on the call, they just run the Chili Piper extension, enter the email of the, actually, let's see this one, I think. Enter the email of the prospect, open it, and then they will see which handoff router matched, which rules it matched or did not match if you allow that. And then they can schedule the meeting, pick a time and schedule the meeting here. They can also invite more guests. They can change the meeting type if need be, duration if they think that more time is needed for the demo. So you can do all that and in the scheduler, and we pull up the assignees availability so that they're not double booked or something. So that's all taken care of. So that is the use case for SDRs and handing off meetings to AEs.
Cool. It looks like there weren't any other questions in the chat or the Q&A. So I think we can go ahead and end. If you have any questions, feel free to email either me or Eugenia. We can answer offline. And we'll be sending out the recording plus recap article of this, hopefully tomorrow, but maybe Friday. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.